David's Saturday AI Thoughts, Episode 6, 28th of March 2026, The System and the Surrender. What's on my mind? Time works differently these days. I write this from my car, having dropped Elliot at his gym for basketball training. I used to have to kill a couple of hours. Miles from home, not quite worth driving back. Dead time. Now there's no problem whatsoever. 2 hours with my laptop or even just my phone, and I can follow up on everything from the day's meetings, bring to life ideas, create presentations, write reports, run complex analytics, just by speaking out loud and watching my little army of bots toil away. It's a joy. Dead time isn't dead anymore. A new architecture of work is emerging around this. A law firm partner this week spent 3 hours engineering a single 2,000-word prompt that encodes his professional judgment for a task he does daily. Now he types PLS fix and receives back work that reads as though decades of experience went into it. 2 people at his firm compete with teams 20 times their size. Boris Cherny, the engineer who built Claude Code, Anthropic's agentic AI tool, hasn't written a single line of code since November. He runs multiple sessions in parallel, writes instructions, reviews the output. As do I. The person who can describe the work that needs doing is now more valuable than the person who does it. Instructions as assets, systems, not conversations. Every refinement making the next output better. It all just works so well. And that's what scares me. A Wharton study tested 1,372 people across 9,593 trials and identified something the researchers call cognitive surrender. When AI produces an answer, people stop questioning it while simultaneously recoding it as their own judgment. They genuinely believe they've thought it through. When the AI was wrong, participants followed it 79.8% of the time. Their accuracy without AI was 45.8%. With incorrect AI, it fell to 31.5%, worse than having no AI at all. And confidence increased by nearly 12 percentage points, even when the answers were wrong. The researchers distinguish this from cognitive offloading, where you know the tool did the work. In surrender, the outsourced answer feels self-generated. The safety net doesn't just fail, it produces overconfidence in bad outputs. People surrendered whether they were rushed or had time to reflect. The only people who resisted were those who scored highest on abstract reasoning and who genuinely enjoy the effort of thinking hard. Not training, not experience, disposition. I've seen it this week in 2 people I deeply respect. A senior technology leader admitted, unprompted, that they click yes on permission prompts without reading them. Another sent AI-generated work that was factually wrong. They just hadn't checked it properly. These aren't careless people. They're brilliant, experienced professionals operating inside a system that quietly allowed them to accidentally stop paying attention. I've built a discipline against this. I force myself to meaningfully change every AI answer before I use it. Never accept it. Always change it. If I look at something and think, yeah, that's fine, I force myself to find a way to make it different or better. Sometimes that's genuinely hard to do, partly because I inherently want to find the most efficient path to a good outcome, and partly because used well, AI output is usually very good. I force myself anyway, but it's a discipline, not an instinct, which is why an incident from a few weeks ago still bothers me. I had Claude Code work through an analysis while I was on Zoom calls, barely paying attention, and then simply checked it over when done. I never intended the output to be client-facing. I sent it to a colleague, they shared it with the client anyway. The client used it. Everyone was happy. The work was genuinely good. I keep going back to it. It kinda haunts me. The work was carefully checked. But beyond the prompt and setup, no human meaningfully shaped it at any point in that chain. Not me. Not my colleague, not the client. If the work had been wrong, this would be a simple cautionary tale. But it wasn't wrong. And that's the more dangerous precedent. Everything going smoothly, no alarm bells, the system working perfectly well without the part I believed was essential. The 2,000-word prompt works. The system compounds. The power is real. But the better the system gets, the harder it becomes to stay vigilant inside it. Every single time, check the output as though someone else wrote it, because your brain will tell you that you already did. Here are 3 things worth knowing this week. Number 1. 3 CEOs, 38 years of tenure, 1 quarter, 1 reason. Coca-Cola's James Quincey and Walmart's Doug McMillon both stepped down, citing AI explicitly. Quincey said the company needs someone with the energy to pursue a completely new transformation. Adobe's Shantanu Narayen left under competitive pressure as AI reshaped his market, stock down 23%. The last time this many blue-chip CEOs turned over citing the same technology was 1999. People joke that organizations only change when people change over, and the assumption was always natural attrition. After 18 months of coaching senior professionals one-on-one, watching their eyes light up, watching them go back to their desks and do it the old way, I've started to think the reckoning is more predictive than the joke. I just didn't think it would start at the top, through resignation. Number 2. Experienced users don't prompt differently. They think differently. Anthropic's 5th Economic Index found that users with 6 or more months of experience consistently achieve better results, even after controlling for task complexity. The shift is specific. Experienced users stop issuing one-shot directives like, write this email, and start using the model as a thinking partner, iterating collaboratively. A separate study published in Harvard Business Review, observing 2,300 employees over 8 months, found the same pattern. The most sophisticated users treated AI as a reasoning partner, not a productivity shortcut. The research warns AI may be a skill-biased technology that compounds existing advantages. Global inequality in AI adoption, measured by the same metric economists use for income inequality, has widened since 2023. The gap between high adoption and low adoption countries is growing, not closing. Number 3, companies with zero AI failures aren't being ambitious enough. Ethan Mollick argues that breakthroughs require experimentation, which requires failure. The fast follower strategy, wait to see what competitors prove, then copy, is riskier than usual when the underlying technology improves exponentially. By the time you follow, the landscape has shifted. His structural implication: R&D-style experimental budgets need to extend to HR, operations and finance, functions that have never needed them. If nothing has gone embarrassingly wrong yet, you probably aren't learning fast enough. I have 2 big failures I'm not proud of. A bunch of you accidentally got the newsletter twice on the first weekend, and Claude Code deleted tens of thousands of my emails a few weeks ago. Nobody complained about the duplicate, and it only took 1 click to recover my deleted emails. Perhaps I'm not being ambitious enough.
3 things to try. Don't fact-check AI in the same conversation. In a single chat, the model has its full reasoning chain in context and will tend to defend its conclusions when challenged. Start a fresh conversation, upload the same source materials, and prompt it to critique the output cold. I've started doing this for every high-stakes document. The independent perspective is materially more likely to find gaps. A false sense of verification is worse than no verification at all, especially now. Give your AI reviewer a persona with skin in the game. Asking a language model to check this for errors produces generic feedback. Assigning it a specific skeptical expert persona, someone with domain expertise and institutional incentives to be unimpressed, produces something qualitatively different. I ran a quality control pipeline this week where 6 review agents were given a senior partner persona. All 6 independently converged on the same systematic error class that a neutral reviewer had missed. The persona defines what good looks like. A generic prompt doesn't. After every good session, turn it into a reusable skill. When you've just completed a task you're pleased with, ask the model to turn it into a set of instructions, templates, and process steps it can invoke next time with a single phrase. The law firm partner's 2,000-word prompt didn't happen in a flash of inspiration. It was built through iteration, capturing what good looks like the moment you've achieved it, before the memory fades, turns a one-off win into a standing procedure. The output matters today. The instructions compound forever.
What readers said. Last week's reckoning and slope drew a lot of you into the framework itself. An academic who has invested heavily in AI pushed back. People with the lowest starting point grow fastest, partly because, with very low mastery, they see a miracle. Those with deep expertise are more skeptical because they understand what can go wrong, and yet, I still feel constantly behind and in danger of being passed. A reader at a media company reframed the question for senior leaders. The issue isn't whether they use AI personally, but whether they support the changing of workflows they can't see but know are critical. And a partner at a professional services firm invoked Sinclair's line about incentive-driven blindness, then applied it squarely to their own position.
That's it for David's Saturday AI Thoughts this week. This is a faithful reading of the email edition. The full written version with all the links and sources, plus 8 bits that didn't fit, full reader letters, and community reactions is at stedman.ai. Thanks for listening.